In economics, the price mechanism refers to the process by which the prices of all goods and services are determined in a society. This is a key understanding because the price is closely linked to the allocation of economic output. Higher prices limit the availability of goods to those who can afford them, and low prices may disincentivize producers from making certain goods. The price mechanism is more commonly known as demand, or consumer behavior, supply, producer behavior, and equilibrium, which is otherwise known as the market price. Let's look at demand first. Consumer behavior is summarized by the law of demand. When prices fall, consumers tend to buy more of a good, and vice versa. Both the demand schedule and the demand curve show the relationship between a given price and the quantity of that good that consumers will buy at that price. When the price is raised or lowered, the effect is seen as a movement along the demand curve, that is, a change in quantity demanded. On the other hand, when some other factor changes, a non-price determinant of demand, the relationship between the price and the amount consumers are willing to purchase changes. For example, assume a new marketing campaign increases people's taste for a certain good. Consequently, at the price of 3, consumers will buy 3 instead of 2, and this also occurs at all other prices. This is known as a change in demand, and causes the demand curve to shift to the right, in the case of an increase, or shift to the left in the case of a decrease of demand. Producer behavior follows much of the same logic. The law of supply states that producers will produce more of a good when the price rises and vice versa. So, as the price goes up from 1 to 5, quantity supplied increases. Similar to the demand curve, a movement along the supply curve, or a change in quantity supplied, occurs due to a change in price. Any factor other than price that affects supply causes a shift of the supply curve to the left or right. Remember that when the supply curve shifts to the right, the quantity, shown on the x-axis, increases. So a rightward shift of the supply curve is an increase in quantity supplied at each price. So this is an increase of supply. Let's look at how demand and supply interact to set the market price, otherwise known as the equilibrium price. Assume the producers first set the price at 4. At this price, producers intended to sell 3 of this good, but demanders will only purchase 1. This leaves an excess supply. To get rid of these extra products, suppliers will compete against each other by lowering their prices. On the other hand, if producers set the price at 2, the quantity demanded will exceed the quantity supplied. This is known as excess demand. In this case, consumers will compete against each other and bid the price up, since there are not enough products for everyone who wants to buy one. If the price is set above or below the equilibrium price, market forces, the law of demand and supply, will drive the price down or up until it reaches the equilibrium price where the market is stable. In this way, the laws of demand and supply are the price mechanism, working together to produce the market price. But what happens if something in the market changes? For example, as shown earlier, improvements in technology may increase supply. The answer is that the market will adjust to produce a new, lower price through the signaling and incentive functions of price. If there is an increase in supply, then producers are able to produce a greater amount, 4, at the old equilibrium price, 3. This means there will be an excess supply. But, as the price mechanism lowers price, it sends a signal to consumers that this product is less scarce than it used to be. And the lower price incentivizes consumers to buy more of this good rather than other goods. This helps to reallocate resources in a society to best meet the needs of producers and consumers. Let's recap a few things about the price mechanism. The price mechanism is the theory that shows how society chooses which goods and services it most wants. The price mechanism works best in a completely free market. Keep in mind that there are few, if any, completely free markets in the real world. An analogy I like is like when a coach draws a play on a whiteboard for their players. The play is not going to go exactly like it's shown, but it gives a good approximation of what the players want to do on the field. In the same way, the demand and supply model doesn't perfectly show how prices are set, but it gives us a good idea of why different products have such different prices and what should happen when there are changes in any given market.